Today I will talk about question number 50 of the admission of partnership chapter. In this question we can see that X and Y are partners with a profit sharing ratio of 5:3. They admit Z for 1/8 share and Z acquires his entire share from X. Now I have calculated the new profit sharing ratio. Here we have to understand that the new partner Z is only taking his share from X. So you can see very carefully over there, X has taken 5/8 minus 1/8. That means X is left with 4/8. There is no change in Y's share. Earlier also it was 3/8. Now also it is 3/8, and Z has a share of 1/8. So the new profit sharing ratio is 4:3:1. Before we do the sum, first we should understand the question very carefully. Over here in the balance sheet you can see in the liability side this workman's compensation reserve, and in the asset side there is the profit and loss account. Whenever these things are there, we should prepare the journal entries for these entries even if the question has not asked. But in this question we are clearly given to pass the journal entries and prepare the necessary account and the balance sheet. So after calculation of the new profit sharing ratio, first let us start with the journal entries. First we will do the internal journal entries. So the first journal entry over here is workman's compensation reserve 5,800 to X's capital account 3625 to Y's capital account 2175. How did I get these figures 3625 and 2175? 5,800 divided by 8 into 5 gives 3625, and 5,800 divided by 8 into 3 gives 2175, because the profit sharing ratio of X and Y is 5:3. Now you can also see that in the asset side of the balance sheet we have 2,400. That will also be written among the partners in the ratio 5:3. So X's capital 1,500, Y's capital 900, to profit and loss account 2,400. So this is the two internal journal entries which has been done. You can see the narrations which has been written below, and after this we will move on with the other journal entries. First we will talk about the capital brought in and the treatment of goodwill. In this slide we will talk about the two journal entries for the capital brought in and the treatment of goodwill. Now we can see in the question that Z brings in 20,000 as capital and 12,000 for the premium for goodwill. So the first journal entry is for the capital and premium for goodwill brought in. So bank account debit 32,000 to Z's capital account 20,000 to premium for goodwill 12,000. Narration being capital and premium for goodwill brought in, and as we know that Z has acquired the entire share from X, so only X is sacrificing. So the next journal entry is premium for goodwill 12,000 to X's capital account 12,000, being goodwill given to the sacrificing partner. In this slide I'll talk about the 5 revaluations which are given in the question. Number 1, provident fund is increased by 5,000. This is the increase in the value of liability which will be shown in the debit side of the revaluation account. Debtors are all good. There was 600 which was a provision given in the balance sheet. Now it is not required anymore, so it will be shown in the credit side of the revaluation account. Stock includes 3,000 for obsolete item. The value of stock is going down, and as the value of assets goes down, it is always shown in the debit side of the revaluation account. Creditors are to be paid 1,000 rupees more. Here the liability is increasing by 1,000 rupees, and that should be shown in the debit side of the revaluation account. The last revaluation is fixed assets are to be revalued at 70,000. The value given in the balance sheet is 80,000 and it is to be revalued at 70,000. Therefore, there is a downfall or decrease of 10,000 that will be shown in the debit side of the revaluation account. Taking that into mind, now let us do the journal entries. The first journal entry, which is a combined journal entry, you can see very clearly revaluation account debit 19,000, to provident fund 5,000, to stock 3,000, to creditors 1,000, to fixed assets 10,000. I hope you understood how we have got 19,000 in the debit side. This is a sum total of 5,000 plus 3,000 plus 1,000 plus 10,000. See the narration very carefully. Being decrease in the value of asset and increase in liabilities recorded. The next journal entry is for provision for doubtful debt 600, to revaluation account 600. Now if you see, the debit side of the revaluation account has 19,000 and the credit side has 600. Therefore, there is a resultant loss of 18,400. And whenever there is a profit or loss on revaluation, it will always be distributed among old partners in old ratio, and in this case the old ratio is 5:3. So 18,400 will be divided among X and Y old partners in the ratio of 5:3. So 18,400 divided by 8 into 5 gives us 11,500, and 18,400 divided by 8, that is 2,300, into 3, 6,900 becomes Y share. So this is the last journal entry or the resultant journal entry of the revaluation account. See the narration being loss on revaluation transferred to capital account. After doing the journal entries in the previous 3 slides, now let us concentrate on the necessary accounts. Now here in this slide I have prepared 2 accounts, that is the revaluation account and followed by the capital account. The revaluation account has been prepared by the journal entries which has been done in the previous slide. You can see very clearly in the debit side there is 2 provident fund 5,000, 2 stock 3,000, 2 creditors 1,000 and 2 fixed assets 10,000. This was the first journal entry for the revaluation which has been transferred to the revaluation account. Now in the credit side there is only one item, that provision for doubtful debt 600. Taking that into consideration, 19,000 minus 600 gives us a loss of 18,400 which needs to be transferred to capital account, and this 18,400 is divided in the old ratio, that is 5:3. So the share of X was 11,500 and the share of Y was 6,900, which has already been explained in the previous slide. Now after preparation of the revaluation account, the next account which we need to prepare is the capital account. The capital account is a very easy account to be prepared. You can see very carefully the capital account starts with the balance given in the balance sheet, the capital of X and Y, which is 70,000 and 31,000 respectively. So the entry is by balance brought down X 70,000 and Y 31,000. Then the next entry is the internal entry for workmen's compensation reserve by WCR. Please avoid writing short form. I have written that due to lack of space, but it is better to use 2 lines and do it. Okay, so by workmen's compensation reserve 3625 and 2175, we had done that in the first journal entry if you remember. Now you know that the new partner has brought in a premium for goodwill of 12,000 and X is only the sacrificing partner. So by premium for goodwill 12,000. Please go to the debit side now. You can see that there was an accumulated loss of 2,400 in the debit side, in the asset side of the balance sheet. Now that has been posted in the debit side of the capital account. To profit and loss 1,500 and 900 respectively. Now the loss on revaluation was 11,500 and 6,900, which has been transferred to the debit side of the capital account. You can see to revaluation loss 11,500 and 6,900. Now after doing all these entries, there is one more entry left, that is for the capital brought in by Z. So by bank 20,000 is the capital brought in by Z, which is shown in the credit side of the capital account. After doing all this, the next step is we will add it the credit side, and we can see the total of X 70,000 plus 3,625 plus 12,000 gives us 85,625. Similarly for Y, it is 31,000 plus 2,175, which gives us 33,175. Now from these two figures we have to subtract the items in the debit side. So from 85,625 for X, we need to subtract 1,500 and 11,500. In other words, we have to subtract 13,000. So 85,625 minus 13,000 gives us a balance of 72,625. Therefore, the balance of X is 72,625. Now the total of Y was 33,175. From this we have subtracted 7,800. How did I get that? 900 plus 6,900. So I have subtracted 7,800 to get a figure of 25,375. So the balance of X is 72,625 and the balance of Y is 25,375, and Z has only the capital brought in, that is 20,000. After preparing the capital account, we will now move on to the balance sheet. Remember, in a question, if they have not asked you to prepare capital account, they have just asked you to do the journals and prepare the balance sheet, you have to do the capital account as a working, because without doing the capital account you cannot ascertain the capital balances of all the three partners in this case, and in some cases it may be 4 partners, in some cases it may be only 2 partners. After that, let us finally go to the balance sheet. Now finally we come to the balance sheet, which will be showing the treatment of all assets and liabilities after the revaluations has taken place. Now you can see the cash balance given in the question was 5,000. So cash at bank 5,000 plus 20,000, that was the capital brought in by the new partner Z, plus 12,000, that is the premium for goodwill brought in by Z. So the total becomes 37,000. Sundry debtors will remain as 20,000. Why? Because the provision has been written off. Therefore, sundry debtors is 20,000. Stock 25,000 less obsolete item 3,000. Therefore, we are getting 22,000 in the outer column. Fixed assets, it has been revalued to 70,000. So you can see fixed asset 80,000 less depreciation 10,000. So outer column figure 70,000. So there are 4 figures in the asset side: 37,000, 20,000, 22,000 and 70,000. So if we add these 4 figures, we are getting a total of 1,49,000. So the total of the asset side of the balance sheet is 1,49,000. That should be the total in the liability side, because the balance sheet at a given date should tally. Now let us go to the liability side, and we'll start with the capitals of the 3 partners X, Y and Z, which we have got by the preparation of the capital account. So the capital of X is 72,625, the capital of Y is 25,375 and the capital of Z is 20,000. So now if we add these 3 figures, that is 72,625, 25,375 and 20,000, we get a value of 1,18,000. Repeat again, we get a value of 1,18,000. Next one which we have is a provident fund, which is there in the balance sheet as 10,000, but there was a revaluation. The provident fund has increased by 5,000. So you can see provident fund 10,000 had increased 5,000, outer column 15,000. Moreover, the value of creditors has also gone up. The value of creditors has also gone up by 1,000. So you can see very clearly creditors 15,000 add increase 1000, that value becomes 16,000. So therefore we have only three items in the liability side: 1,18,000 for capital, provident fund 15,000, and creditors 16,000. Now if we add these three, we get the tallying figure as 1,49,000. So this concludes sum number 50. Keep watching my channel. I'll soon come up with more sums from the textbook.